An investigative tool meant to fight crime is now at the center of a destructive national trend.
That's right. Flock Safety is one of the largest vendors for automated license plate readers. These cameras collect vehicle data for local authorities, but recently in Iowa and the rest of the country, they have become the targets of vandalism.
KCCI's Marcus McIntosh is live for us in Ankeny tonight with a look at the damaged cameras. Marcus?
Stacy and Ben, we are standing on South Ankeny Boulevard in front of one of Ankeny's flock cameras. Now, Ankeny police tell us in the last year, 4 of the cameras have been vandalized. One this weekend, over the past weekend, rather. Now, while Ankeny is dealing with that, the Story County Board of Supervisors had a meeting this morning where a topic of discussion was whether or not to renew their contract with flock cameras. The Story County Sheriff's Office sat before the Board of Supervisors to address questions about renewing its flock contract.
This is purely about this system and how it is being used nationwide.
The Board of Supervisors have concerns about the AI-powered automated license plate reader systems designed to track vehicles for public safety and investigative purposes.
What we were concerned about was what are the uses, what are the privacy, what are the guarantees of privacy, and how do we not violate people's privacy?
The Sheriff's Office did its best to answer the board's questions.
Right now, we currently are on the lowest tier, which means that we do not have access nationwide.
The board not only has questions, but they have concerns.
I do have really big concerns about the company and the data that they have access to, independent of what we might think we're giving them permission for.
Vandalism and destruction of flock cameras were not discussed. We spoke with the ACLU of Iowa, who is against the vandalism, calling them acts of frustration.
We see these acts as more of a symptom of the frustration that Iowans are feeling in discovering that they are being tracked in their everyday movements as they go about their business in public life.
Calling for a better way of expressing frustrations with the flock cameras.
They need to go to their city council, they need to go to their boards of supervisors, ask for the contracts, come to the ACLU, work with us. We're working all across the state to make sure Iowans are aware of this system and know how it impacts their civil liberties.
No action was taken by the Story County Board of Supervisors. They're waiting for more information from the Story County Attorney. Now, the Wapello County Sheriff's Office, we spoke to him on the phone earlier today. He tells us in early July, 4 of their flock cameras were damaged, and that comes at a cost of about $4,000 to fix and replace. As for retention, Ankeny police tell us the flock cameras have been turned away from the traffic, taped and damaged trying to pull it from the ground, and one damaged trying to pull it from the ground. Now, according to the police in Ankeny, they tell us the flock retention cameras, they have a retention period of about 30 days, after which it is deleted from the system. We're live in Ankeny. I'm Marcus McIntosh, KCCI 8 News, Iowa's news leader.